Listen to me, motherfucker. I'm talking. I say horrible things sometimes because I think they're funny. My podcast is a verbal mosh pit because it's just me pinwheeling around. You don't know where the fuck I'm going to wind up, and I generally have no idea when it's going to end or start. I'm responsible for this whole goddamn thing. I want a little respect from you people. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy podcast. I do not start the show until engaged, folks. I will sit here. Lily used to point, and when she would point, I would go. But now, last week, she started a new thing where she had to touch my nose, and I started talking like Shields and Yarnell or some nonsense. And I said, all right, done. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait to get my nose touched. So just now she hit it, and she kind of pointed at me, and I sat here like a lump. I sat here thinking. 2, 3 times, 4 times. I even thought 5 times. I'm not going to lie to you folks. Well, 6 times. I can't. Well, I did lie a little. 7. Well, actually, all right, I thought 10 times. But regardless, I was sitting here waiting for the nose touch. You remember who sings that song? Give me that nose touch, nose touch. That's Love Touch. Who sings that? Google it. All right. I'll get the intern on it. I do not have an intern because I do not have that popular of a show. Oh. Folks, I just got a hearty reminder of who the fuck I am in life. That's right. I got a serious in-your-face moment where everybody just said, hey, this is who you are. Don't ever aspire to be anything other than what you are, because you will eventually come crashing down, folks. Here's what happened. In order to come to Lily von Stup's house now, by the way, that's Lily, our producer. She's in the background, much more in the foreground with the new setup, but that's okay. And she's wearing Christmas socks today. I just noticed that. Which is handy with your woman in the hallway who has Christmas decorations up. Remember how I wanted to shoot the electronic deer during Christmas at Graveyardville? Well, she's got somebody here who has Christmas decorations up still. I mean, it's fucking, opening day of baseball has gone by. We're heading into May. April showers bring May flowers and apparently fucking Christmas decorations in the oldest building in Hollywood because this woman won't. And then I had to take the elevator. All right, I'll tell you this. I walked in, the woman let me in, and I kind of felt, you can't get in Lily's apartment without a key. There is no buzzer system. So what I have to do is I call Lily, and the first week, Lily diligently came down the stairs or the elevator and let me in, but she got a bad wheel, folks. We can't have her doing that. So now she climbs out on the trellis and drops the keys to me, Romeo and Juliet style. And I got to be honest, I don't remember them having keys or a lock. I just remember there being a balcony and the Capulets and the Montagues, and at the end, everybody fucking dies, right? Well, Lily Juliet's it and hops out to the trellis, and she fucking Romeos me the keys, and then I let myself in, and then I take the elevator up, or the 4 flights of stairs if I'm feeling randy. But today I called Lily, and she took a while to get to the trellis. I don't know if she was naked or what was happening. But I waited downstairs patiently for the keys to arrive, and then this blousy blonde who looks, she looked like, who did she look like? She looks like Drew Barrymore at the age of 50 mixed up with Jennifer Coolidge. Does that make sense to you? I think it should. She's not unattractive, but she looks like, she might be, she's fading. She's fading a little bit, this woman. And she's got an ass that looks like 2 4-year-olds fighting over a sandwich in a sack. I mean, it was like gong, gong, gong. It was like moving. It was moving, folks. And that's right from my act, by the way. I've said that in my act. You got to see my ass. Looks like 2 3-year-olds fighting over a sandwich back there. That's right, folks. I'm not above ripping off all the Joe Prater. Look it up. So I wait, and so Jennifer Barrymore comes sashaying up with her ass in the breeze, and she goes to let herself in. And I gravy train in on her because and again, this is not the building to do that in. You don't want to be following anybody in. I'm thankful it's light outside because she might have maced me or pepper sprayed me, or might have just hip checked me with her huge fucking Vita Guerra ass. Just fucking gave me a big fucking swing and knocked me into the bricks. So I follow her in, and then I will tell you again, I mentioned there's an old-timey elevator here, folks. It's like the Pulp Fiction elevator where you got to slide a door and then ratchet a lever, and then you got to hop in and tip a bellman in a monkey costume. He's not there because if he was, he'd be working the front door too, wouldn't he? No, so she goes and lets herself in the elevator, and I'm waiting for Lily. I realize now Lily's probably making her way to the trellis. She's going to see no Mike Schmidt. She's going to think my phone call was for naught, and perhaps I lied or I'd gotten jumped because it's that kind of area. And instead, I saw this woman goes to get in the elevator, and I see her hit the button for the floor that Lily lives on. And I walk up and I grab the door because, again, you have to wait for 9 doors to shut before you can go up. And I look at her and I go, "Hey, is it creepy if I ride up with you?" And she goes, no, come on in. So I come in and I close the door and I hit the 4. Oh, I didn't want to say what floor you live on. Okay. She lives on the 4th floor. I think I mentioned it already in previous weeks. Yeah. You had to go up and down 4 flights of stairs. I'm stupid. All right. I keep thinking I'm protecting her for some reason. And by the way, some creepy idiot. Again, not creepy idiot. You're a nice man. You know I wrote you. I don't think you're an idiot. But a guy wrote me and he's like, hey, look what I found with my home address and phone number. He found it on the web. And I'm like, dude. So I wrote him and I'm like, thank you. I will consider getting a privacy setting now on where you found this. But at the same time, I got to be honest with you. This had a creepy ransom note feel to it when someone sends you your home address and goes, look what I found. Ha ha ha. You should have just included a GIF of you smiling and rubbing your hands together. Oh my Christ. So now I gotta fucking keep my head on a swivel when I walk out the goddamn door. So I know that now there's a guy out there with my home address, and he was writing because last week I said I did that big build up and then I asked people, how did you get this number? And he wrote me, he's like, here's how I got your number. Bang, here's my number, phone number and everything. I'm like, God damn it, dude. There's so many, and I guess it didn't take much. I keep thinking it's like internet snoops who are cracking these 9 levels of security. Nope. Literally in 4 seconds you can find out anything you need to fucking find out about me. And I do it myself. When anybody calls me from a number I don't recognize, I Google it immediately and I find out who it is. And it happens right there. Folks, we have no privacy left. None at all. All right, so. That's right. I don't know if you know this. Again, I told you this last year. When you listen to this show, I can actually see you. I'm looking right at you, folks. Put that down. Don't touch that, but please touch that. Okay, so I get in the elevator with this lady, and the door closes. Did you break that, really? Dude, I have a pen. Look, I have favorite pens. All right. Again, this is part of my weird pathology. It's fine. I knew. All right. The pen is called the Pilot G2, folks. The Pilot G2, and it's a refillable ink pen. And I have a bunch of them. I just actually bought like 12 of them, so I have a lot. Don't worry. But they have a clip on them, and the clip is really tight. So what I will do is I'll usually slide my finger in, and I'll let it hang on my finger, and I'll just kind of swing it around. I fancy a pen, and I like the clip. So I have this one pen, and the clip on it is loose on this Pilot, but the ink is full, so I can't bear to get rid of it because I'm like, well, I got to use this till it's gone. I can't just throw it away for that. And we all know of my love for inanimate objects. I feel horrible. And by the way, thank you for all the people writing to confirm that I'm not fucking crazy. There's a woman who wrote me, and she goes, hey, I don't know if it was a few years ago, might have been a day ago, a month, I don't know. But her child had 3 gummy bears. One was yellow and was the dad, one was red and was the mom, and one was a yellow-red one and it was the baby. And she named them for her child. She said, yeah, that's the mom, that's the dad, and that's the baby. And they're driving in the car, kid drops them out the window. To this day, that woman feels bad for those gummy bears, that their family fell out the window. Awesome! I am not nuts! There are people who fucking feel that way.
But they're nuts too.
No, incorrect. That's awesome. All right. That's okay. So I have these pens, and they're very important to me, folks. They're near and dear to me. I love them. So before we did the show, this one's got still plenty of ink, but the clip is loose. And I said to Lily, look, because you can just slide your finger in there. I can't play my game where I clip it on my finger. And she's like, oh, well, what do you care if it's a loose clip? And I go, don't worry. Whatever. The bottom line is I'm fucking sitting here talking, and now all momentum has been lost because she snapped the clip off like a goddamn wishbone. She just literally, and then she's holding it laughing. Ha ha ha, I broke your shit. Thanks. Glad you broke it. All right. So now, but here's the worst part. Here, you'll see why I like the clip. Watch. It rolls. Now it rolls. With the clip, it would stop. The clip would stop it in its place, loose or not loose. But now the fucking thing's going to roll all over the goddamn place, and now I'm going to lose it. Son of a bitch. All right, folks. I'm crazy. But you're not taping the clip back on. It's not going to make any sense because it's not going to have any place to put the... Now you'll fuck it up. Please don't. Seriously, because that will drive me crazy, and you can just keep it. You did it. You fucking did it, didn't you? Yeah, here, give me that. You know what I mean? Give me it. You can keep that fucking pen. All right. Literally just wrapped a pen in tape now. So now it's fucking useless. There's no point in even having it. I get annoyed by the dumbest shit, folks. All right. So enjoy it. Keep it. Yeah. All right. So what the fuck was I talking about? I have no idea now that my shit is broken. And again, you think I'm kidding. You think this is like, but this is a window into how fucking crazy I am because now I can't concentrate because this fucking pen is broken and now she just put tape all over, ruining that pen. And I've got millions of these fucking pens because, again, part of my pathology is buying tons and tons of them. Okay, so I have them at my fucking house. But now the one that I was using for the show, it was designated. That was the show pen. It was designated as the show pen. Is now all fucked up. So now, in my mind, the show's all fucked up. It's not really. It shouldn't be. But I'm fucking crazy enough to just think, no, look, she's going to take the tape off like I'm going to even care or keep it. No, look, it's ruined. It's fucking ruined. Just keep it. Enjoy it. Yeah, good. You can have that. I'm not, it's no use. Again, I've said it before. It's like when people ask to read my newspaper. No good to me after they've handled it. Go ahead and keep it. So you can keep that pen. That's yours. All right. So what the fuck is I talking about?
Crazy lady in the elevator.
I got lost. I don't know. There's no point even going on, honestly.
The creepy guy. You're the creepy guy in the elevator.
Doesn't. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember what I was saying. All right. Because now all I can think about is getting another pen out of my bag because I need a pen to click or hold or whatever, while I'm doing this. It's just that's your pen. I don't want it. No, I don't want that pen. Keep it.
My pen?
No, I don't need a Sharpie. That's yours. All right. Hi. I had to stop and go get another pen because I'm crazy. Here, listen. There's a new pen. All right. What made me mad, and it shouldn't make me mad. Again, I'm a child. I am a fucking child. There's no reason to get mad at that. Lily's, one of my best friends in the world, would do anything for me. But it's like, dude, all right, you broke it. You broke it, put it down. Don't compound it by putting the goddamn tape on it. And I just said to her now, I go, look, you broke it, whatever. But the tape? And she goes, oh, I thought you were kidding. You thought I was kidding when I was going? She goes, oh, I thought you were doing it like for on air. I go, you know me. Who I am on air is who I am off air. I'm not changing anything. I'm a fucking psychopath. So it's like, dude, don't put tape on my goddamn pen. So I want to apologize to you folks. That was probably awkward. That sure seemed weird. But I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. I got in my brain there. And I was just explaining to her, I go, look, you got to understand this show. I have to have momentum to do this show. I have to run, it was so, here's something that was totally cool. Last week, I mentioned that Meg said it's like you're falling down the stairs and then you land on your feet to tell a story. Well, that's how I feel the show is. It's like I need momentum. I got to keep talking, and I try to speak at the speed of my brain. Okay, whatever comes into my head, I talk about, and that's where it goes. So that's why when I'm talking that fast, I'm trying to talk as fast as my head is working. This is something I always wanted to do, even as a kid. So it's kind of cool that I'm doing this show because, nobody can tell me to shut up. So I can just kind of fucking do what I want whenever I want. And is it going to get me anywhere? No. Is it going to be anything that anybody's interested in? No. I think if anything, college professors should be interested in this. I should be like, Peter Venkman should hook me up to a machine and try to fucking electroshock me so my gum flies out every time I fucking talk like this, because I want to know what people think about. Try it. Just do that. Go unfiltered. Go ahead and sit down and just say everything you're thinking of and talk at that pace. I mean, it's awesome. All right, so what was I saying? So I tried to explain it. So then last week people wrote me and they said that Eddie Van Halen had described guitar solos as falling down the stairs and landing on your feet. And I was so fucking happy because, again, Eddie, huge. That's my guy, Eddie, and whoever else. Who else do I like? Einstein. I don't like Einstein. All right, so that's what this show. So I need momentum. So I got to talk. And so when she breaks the pen, my tiny brain can only think about the goddamn pen, which is fine. Because again, I just told her, I need a pen for the show, but literally, when was the last time you ever saw me write anything for the show? When was the last time you saw me write anything down? Never. But I have to have it here. I have like a legal pad. I have some stuff here, and then just in case, I guess that I'm seized by writing inspiration in the middle of the goddamn show. Hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pen a nice thank you note for a card I got from my aunt. No, stupid. What do you need a goddamn pen for? You know what I need a pen for? That's what I need a stupid pen for, so I can pick it up and play with it. All right, but because it'll be in my hand. It's like now it's in my hand now. This is the new one, by the way. And listen to this. That's the tight clip. All right. So I was telling her that the other clip was not tight; it was loose, and so she knew that and decided to fuck with it during the show and snap it right off like a goddamn fucking wishbone. All right, so. Yeah, so I was mad there for a second, but like it came and went because I'm trying not to be that guy. I don't want to be gloomy Gus. I don't want to be a guy who's fucking furious and pissed. It's funny. I'm trying to think of a name for the one-man show, and I think I know what it's going to be. There's a couple that I have in play right now, but you know what's funny? Bucky, the guy who's helping me in San Francisco, and by helping me, I mean doing everything. I don't want to sell him short. This guy's running the whole fucking thing. The only thing he's not going to do is get up there and disguise himself as me and do the fucking show. He's right. He's booked the theater. He's got me in a hotel. He's done it all. He just keeps updating me, and I'm like, great. He's San Francisco Eric. So I can't say I've helped at all with this show. All right, so he wrote me with a title because he's bugging me like for the title and not bugging me. He's just asking. And so here's how I do things, folks. I'll say to someone, I go, when do you need this? Like, I need a hard deadline so that I can wait until an hour before then and give you what you need. That's what I need to know. So he's asked me about a title for the show, and I gave him a couple that I was considering, and he was like, okay. He goes, well, the sooner we get the title, we can get a poster working with Max, which I, by the way, Max, if you're listening, I'll talk to you about that soon. Jesus. And then he wants to talk about the tickets and getting things printed up. And I can tell you, well, as long as we're talking about it now, folks, I will be in San Francisco. I will be there August 20th and 21st. It's a Friday and a Saturday. And the shows are at 10 o'clock. So 10 o'clock each night. So come on out, and tickets are not on sale yet because we're still deciding all that kind of stuff. And again, like I mentioned, I don't even have a title for the goddamn show. But yeah, it's going to be August 20th and 21st, which is a Friday, Saturday. And I will be there at 10 o'clock. Because he asked me, he goes, you want an 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock? And I go, you know what? Because I've done shows here at the UCB, and we'll do an early show at 8, and then there's a show at 10:30 or 11 afterwards. And I hate that. I hate doing an early show, and then everybody's got to get the fuck out. I said, look, I have a feeling people are going to want to talk to me at the end of the show. And quite frankly, maybe they don't. After the Penn episode, maybe nobody wants to fucking say a goddamn word to me. Maybe nobody has any interest in having any sort of discourse with me again or now or in the future because they just heard me throw a fucking pen across the goddamn room because one of my best friends in the world pulled the clip off of it. But conversely, I say to you, if she's the best friend that I've purported her to be, why the fuck did she put tape on it when I told her not to put goddamn tape on it? Over and over, don't put tape. No, put the tape down. No, seriously, don't put tape on it. You put tape on it? Are you fucking kidding me? You know me. You know who I am. Are you doing that for effect to like try to goose me and have a better show? Like, you're not that asshole now, are you? She's not, I don't think. All right. So Bucky, and so I'm telling him about the title of the show. So he sends me a title. He goes, hey, what do you think about this? And he actually gives me a name for the show. And it's good. I will never fucking use it because he came up with it. But it's good. And I'm actually mad he sent it because, quite frankly, eventually I might have gotten to that with all the things I've been biffing around. It's kind of in that vein. And I liked it. There are reasons I like it and reasons I don't like it. But eventually I would have thought of it. And that's why. But I will never use it now because he thought of it. I don't. Because I don't want to have to put in the program show named by Bucky Sinister. I like Bucky. Nice man, and I respect him for all the work that he's doing. But quite frankly, I'll be honest with you. If anybody gives me I'm that guy. Like, I don't want to watch. Like I've been trying to think about one-man shows and templates, and a lot of you have been nice and you've suggested things and told me who to look at. A lot of people are mentioning John Leguizamo. A lot of people mentioning Chris Titus. Lily has very much been in Spalding Gray's camp since year one. She told me I got to watch those. I'm trying to find them. I'm not a Netflix guy, so I have to go out of my house and look for them and whatever. But where was my point there? What was I talking about? The one man. People are telling me what. Yeah. But here's how crazy I am. I don't want to watch them because I don't want to be like them. I know that sounds stupid, but I do. When we wrote Jimmy Pardo's one man show, it was like we just kind of took some of his stories and we built an arc around them, and it was easy. Well, now doing mine, I'm like, oh, I should do that, but I can't decide. I'm up in the air on what to do. I'm up in the air to be, because people have had many different suggestions, and I, in my own brain, have had many different suggestions of what to do. I don't know whether to be, I don't want to be maudlin guy. I don't want to be like, all right, everybody, here's the stop down where everybody gets to cry, and then we're going to move on with some jauntiness. I don't want to be that idiot. I can't decide if I just want to be gut punch fucking funny the entire time or if I want to mix in a little pathos, a little of that stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I still don't know what it's going to be. But I know what it's not going to be named. And that's the name that Bucky sent me, because as much as I liked it, I would never do it because he came up with it. I can't do that because then eventually, once I take the world by storm and I'm on Broadway or I'm in China, I don't know why that leap was made. But if I'm performing it elsewhere, I don't want it to say in the program, like I said, created by Mike Schmidt with assistance and in the name being by Bucky Sinister. He's a nice man, but I'm that guy. All right, I'm a weirdo. All right. The hell was I talking about before you destroyed my most prized possession?
The girl in the elevator.
The girl in the elevator. Yeah, hold on. Can you hear that, folks? There's an airplane. All right, I'm 5. I'm 5 years old. Look, there's a plane. Oh, all right. That's a fake crying noise I do with my wife all the time to be stupid. Like I do it, and then she started to do it now a bunch of times. I'm on the phone the other morning with Mex, and we have this thing now. Whenever the shower turns off, you have to run in and give the person their towel. Karen and I have to. I have to give Karen her towel, or she has to give. That's like a little shower butler. We've decided to play shower butler. So Karen's my shower butler, and I'm her shower butler. Because I used to just. I told you I would watch her. I'd like climb up on the toilet and just look at her until she looked up at me. Yeah, and you have a little conversation in the shower. So you know what my wife does? This is, all right, no, I'm not going to say this. All right, never mind. She would not be happy if I mentioned that. All right, so, but yeah, so now you play shower butler. So the other day I played shower butler, and I was on the phone with Mex in the morning talking about stuff, and I ran in with the towel, and she opened the door to the shower, and she goes, "Eh," and I gave her the towel, and he goes, "What the hell was that?" And again, you can't explain to somebody what that is. You know, it's like, I mean, we all have our stupid things with our wives and our significant others where you know, maybe you talk in a certain language or you always make eye contact at a certain time or whatever the fuck. But for some reason, that's the thing that's taken hold with us. And I said to him, I go, nothing. And he goes, "What, do you got a baby over there?" I said, sort of got a baby here. Long story. There was a point. So I'm in the shower. Or no, I'm in the shower. I'm in the elevator with the chick. There's no point. There's really no point in going into that story. Again, because you're going to hear it and you're going to go, really? I'm glad Lily broke the pen and put a stop to that fucking horrible anecdote. All that happened was I asked her, did I mention what I said to her when I got in the elevator? Okay, yeah, because I got in the elevator and I go, "Hey, is it creepy for me to ride up with you?" And she goes, "No, it's okay." So I closed the 9 doors in the Get Smart elevator. I push the 4 and the elevator car starts to move and she looks at me and goes, "Is it creepy to ride with me in the elevator?" That's funny that you would ask that. And I go, I'm serious. I go, look at this building. I don't know what's creepy and not creepy in this building. And that was the last word I got to say, because for the next 45 minutes as we rode up 4 floors, because that's how long it takes in this ancient elevator, she blew dry me with a bunch of anecdotes and stories about people and creepiness and what's going on in this building and how long she's lived here and how, oh my God, and who do you live here and where do you go and what do you do and who do you know? I mean, she would not stop talking. I'm like, Coolidge, seriously. Put a clamp on that blousy mouth of yours because you're fucking boring the shit out of me up for 4 floors. 4 flights of stairs never looked so inviting in my fucking life. I almost hit the fucking stop button and climbed out the roof like goddamn John McClane. And went from fucking white tank top to black tank top and then back to white tank top. Yeah, that happens in Die Hard. Check it out. He's in a white tank top. He fights, he yells, he kills Alexander Goodenough, he's shooting dudes, he's running through glass. All of a sudden his tank top's black. Then he's running around with a fire hose. He's swinging on top of the building. His shirt's white again. What the fuck? He was sweating detergent. He was so scared of those goddamn terrorists, and it cleaned out his fucking tank top. John McClane sweats Tide. All right. So I'm in the elevator with this chick. And finally the door opens, and then Lily's there when the door opens. And this woman, Lily goes, "Hi," and they start talking, and the woman starts talking about her Christmas decorations. Then they start having like crazy lady talk. Like apparently they're on that same wavelength where they can just kind of, Lily can adapt because she's used to dealing with burlesque dancers who are half fucking crazy anyway. So she just segues. She's able to go right into crazy. Like she's not even fucking around. It's like when I watch MMA fighting and they have to have the Portuguese translator with the Brazilian fighters. I should just bring Lily with me whenever I talk to a chick because she can just speak crazy. She's just got it. And they start talking crazy about Christmas decorations and the building and the smell of the rug. I don't fucking know. And I walked. I said, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I don't want to be anywhere close to this. This is just too weird and creepy. All right, so again, see, not even worth telling. Not even worth telling that I bothered fucking Jennifer Barrymore. All right. There was a point to all of this in the beginning where I mentioned something that like kicked it off. It kicked off the whole deal. Do you have any clue? You have any idea? Fuck. You know what? When we stopped down for me to get a new pen, we should have listened back because I know there was a thing.
I think it was for me not to touch your stuff.
I think, yeah, don't touch my pen. Possibly. I love the fact that you snapped it. You just fucking snapped it. Jesus Christ. Wait, I remember what it was. You know what? Fuck it. I remember what it was. To come to Lily's house, folks, I have to park in a parking garage, like a ways away. It's not even a ways away because with shortcuts, it's 9 steps, but it seems like it's a ways away. So, but I got a full-on verbal bucket of cold water onto who I am as a guy at the parking garage. So I park, And I'm on parking level 4, folks. There's a Murano right now. Go steal it. Go right now, because I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be there for 2 more hours. Go ahead and gank it. But there's a Murano right now on parking level 4. So I get in, and these 2 girls. One of them was kind of a heavy. They were Latino girls, and one of them was kind of a big girl. You know who I'm talking about. She looks like she should be pushing a tortilla cart. Kind of like a heavy, like an old school looking. You know what I'm talking about, right? I don't mean it in a mean way. She looks like if you bought one of those homies figures out of the gumball machine. She looks like their little their girl. All right, so she's just prototypical young Latina who's kind of overweight, and she's with a little cutie friend who's kind of cute, and I'm like, oh, okay, she's kind of cute. So the cutie friend, I let them on the escalator ahead of me. I'm like, please, and they go on, and so the cutie friend is going through her pockets, and she reaches in her pocket and she goes, okay, I've got my breath mints in my right hand pocket, and she looks looks over at me, and I go, breath mints, right hand pocket, check. And she laughed. She thought it was funny. Little cutie thought it was funny, and so did a hefty friend. They thought it was funny. So, because I'm like, again, it's an escalator. I'm right behind them. You can't help it over here. So she reaches and she goes, okay, breath mints, right hand pocket. And she goes, and I got my lollipops in my left hand pocket. Because isn't that where we all keep our lollipops? And again, I want to jump in at that point and go, seriously? You've got your lollipops in your left hand pocket? Because I always keep them in my lollipop carrying case. And God, I wish I had one. How great would that be if I open it up? Ling! You know what? You ever see when someone brings darts, they have their own darts? I would carry one of those dart cases with lollipops in it. Bring, just Charms Blow Pops and fucking Tootsie Roll Pops and Dum Dums and any other lollipop I can think of. All right? Anything with a stick and sugar on the end of it. So she's like going through her pocket. She goes, all right, I have my breath mints in my right hand pocket. And I don't know why she's even taking this loud inventory and verbally taking it. And she goes, all right, and I got my lollipops in my left hand pocket, and I got my money here in my back right hand pocket, and I've got the valet ticket here in this pocket. And then she goes, and I got my condoms in my left hand pocket. And I see her look at me because she was saying that for my benefit. Because she knows that I'm listening and I can still hear them, and I heard the first one. So she goes through the pockets and takes inventory. She goes, and I got my condoms here in my left front pocket. And cheats a look at me to see what my reaction's going to be or what I'm going to say. And I'm like, waiting, because part of me is like, because look, in the old days, you hear that, and it's like, hey, she's dropping a hint that she's got condoms. Let's fuck in the elevator. I mean, seriously. That's what your first thought is like, because we kind of thought it was funny, haha, we got along, we had a little connection there, and then she shoots me a look when she says condoms. It's like, oh, okay, but I did not betray the look. I pretended like I did not notice. I played it off, totally stiff-armed it. So we get to the top floor of the escalator, and we go our certain ways, and I go ahead of them because I know where I'm going, and the hefty friend goes, where are we going? And she goes, I don't know. You know what? Let's just follow Big Boy. The good-looking girl said, let's follow Big Boy. So here I was all excited about the fact that she was mentioning that she had condoms. And I thought, oh, well, maybe she's sending me a little hint that she wants to go ahead and find a dark place to fuck right here in the mall. When in reality, she was gauging the reaction of what an old man would think if a young girl had condoms on her. She said, let's follow Big Boy, and they started laughing. Hee, tee, hee, hee, ha, ha, ha. That's who I am, folks. I'm Big Boy. I'm the fat old man that they were trying to shock on the escalator, and then who knows where he's going, like who has, and so they can follow him. Like young people can follow me because I'm like, I guess, trustworthy with directions. I don't fucking know. All I know is I used to think I was, you're like, oh man, I'm dangerous, and there's a little hint of, hey, we kind of got vibed here about breath mints, front pocket check, and I'm thinking, all right, we made a connection here. Nope, no. I was her non-Latino father. And she was very careful to point that out. Let's follow Big Boy. Oh, dude, that's worse. That's as bad as when Snoop Dogg called me Big Baby. That was the worst ever. Because when I was bouncing, he showed up with his entourage, and he comes walking in, and there was a huge crowd. I'm just keeping people away from him and stuff. And I can't do Snoop's voice, but of course I'll try. And he walks up and he goes, "Sup, Big Baby?" And all his boys like fucking rolled. They thought it was hilarious, and like the bouncers like laughed. They got my other boy, and I told you, I'm like, hey, I go, hey, Snoop, what's happening? And then he walks in, and at the end of the night, I had to check because we like 4 hours go by, and Snoop's smoking dope and won't stop, and so we're getting ready to bail, And I look at the other bouncers as we're like taking our, getting cut loose and having our meeting. And I go, because Big James was the guy who called me 454. 454 ain't no joke. And I look at Big James and I go, hey, Snoop called me Big Baby. And he goes, yeah, I heard. I go, that wasn't good, right? And he goes, no, I don't think so. And I go, well, does it? I go, it doesn't mean like I'm a faggot or anything like that, right? And he goes, no. He goes, I think it literally means you look like a big baby. Because this is when I was crazy fat and I had like a fleshy face and like fleshy hands and all that. So I think I looked like a big infant with a goatee to Snoop. So, which actually I had some respect for Snoop then because it wasn't like some go-to thing. Like he actually meant you look like a big baby. What's up, big baby? And so then, unfortunately, because I was 454 to the guys, or Big Mike, but then Big Baby found its way creeping in eventually, and I'd be like, dudes, come on, we can't go with that. And then, you know what I would do? I would grab all their pens and break them. That's what I would do. I was so angry at them, I would just fucking snap their pens in half.
You're listening to The 40-Year-Old Boy, and later, Pod Gods, a no-holds-barred discussion about the world of modern podcasting.
Hey, we're back on Pod Gods. Oh, where's the
Pod Gods
there? Yeah, it didn't happen. We're supposed to have the thunder crash there. All right, so we're reviewing podcasts. So you heard our first review, and that's can you hear me okay out there in Ohio?
Yeah, Dallas, everything's fine.
Okay, yeah, we're my Skype has been a little shaky, and I just want to make sure that I can hear you. So our next show that we're going to go into, we're going to talk about. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
You can hear? Okay, I can hear you fine. So again, we're gonna do our next review. We're ready, right? So we're gonna do the show we wanted to talk about.
I hate that show.
Cutting through the noise to get to the heart of podcasting. Pod Gods on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network.
The sound quality I don't think they did a lot of work.
I'm not touching your nose.
You have to.
No.
You've set a standard. All right, we're back. I mean, come on. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it. It seemed like the thing to do. Folks, I can tell you that this week the show has been sponsored by John of www.q-engineer.co.uk. Many thanks. That's what he went. I should say, let me rephrase that. Folks, inexplicably this week, the show is still sponsored by John of www.q-engineer.co.uk. Because after last week, I thought for sure that was going to be the death knell of not only my sponsorship with John, but pretty much any sponsors. And I will tell you that the show came out, Wednesday night, Thursday morning. And my elbow, ow. All right, well, I'll get to that. Sorry. So the show came out like Thursday, and I always think, because everybody loves me, that they listen to the show immediately. Everyone runs immediately to download the show and listens to it Thursday and then writes me a note telling me how great I am. Usually that's what happens with most of you. And last week I had the pleasure of being on Never Not Funny, so I had I got 40 emails the night it went up, and overall I've gotten like 120, not counting Facebook and Twitter. I don't know, a lot, folks. Who I did not hear from was John at www.q-engineer.co.uk. He didn't send me a thank you. He didn't send me a fuck you. He didn't send me anything. And I was very sad, I will tell you. But luckily, John had prepaid for 2 weeks. So that's why this week the show is sponsored by John of www.q-engineer.co.uk. Many thanks. John over there at Q Engineer, where he's making all sorts of, what do we say? Bombs? What's he making? Software? He's making all sorts of stuff. And sperm irrigation systems. He's making them all. And so I did not hear from him. And I was like, so I actually, again, we all know me. And we all know that I'm pretty fucking nuts, as witnessed by me throwing a fucking pen across the room in the middle of a live broadcast. Jesus Christ. Is it any wonder I'm not on any shows or working anywhere with anybody at any time? Because they know that at any point I will just completely attack the office supplies. I am the kind of guy who will just land a fucking 1-2 combo and drop a fucking box of paper clips with a left hook. I don't fuck around, folks. Seriously. What's that, whiteout? I'm going to fucking throw a spin kick on that whiteout. Boom! I am kicking the shit out of everything in the supply closet. Take that, 3-hole punch, you fuck! All right. So I was going to write John, because I'm nuts, I was going to write him and offer him a refund for the second week that he had prepaid for, because I felt bad, because I did not hear from him, so which indicated that he was obviously disappointed in what had happened last week, because I had written him and said, hey, how do you feel about me goofing? He's like, I'm okay with goofing. And then I don't think he realized that I was going to fuck him in the ass on my podcast for fucking 45 minutes and make him the king of sperm removal. I mean, I don't think that was anything that John at www.g-engineer.co.uk thought was going to happen. But it happened, it did. So I figured, he was really, he had spent 4 days pulling my foot out of his ass. So he couldn't afford to write me and cut me loose and ask for a refund. So I was going to graciously write him and offer to give him his money back because, I felt terrible. So I'm in Graveyardville late Sunday night, I think it was, Sunday. So the show comes out Thursday early. So it's Thursday, weekend passes, Sunday night late. And again, he's in England, so I don't know what the fucking time difference is there. I don't even know. They speak a different language. I don't know what those people do. He doesn't really. I don't think so. Do they? They speak English. Hence the name England. All right, so you know what we speak here? Americish. We speak American. So I'm in Graveyardville and I check my email on my iPhone and I see John has sent you a note on Facebook, and I recognize the name. I don't want to say his last name, but he sends me a note, and I'm like, oh, that's John from www.q-engineer.co.uk. And I will admit to a weird feeling in the pit of my stomach going, I don't know if I want to read this, especially in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm already haunted by visions of every failure I've ever made in my life. Now I have to be fired by this guy internationally in the middle of the night. Of course, with the time difference, he thinks he's firing me first thing Monday morning. So that's fine. For him, that's great. That's when you would normally fire somebody. But instead, he's going to cut me loose in the middle of the night on a Sunday. Awful. So I go, all right, well, you got to read this. Fucking toughen up, Mary. So I open it up, and it's a one-word email from John. And I will say one word and like 15 exclamation points. And luckily, that word was not fired. That word was cool. So, John at www.q-engineer.co.uk didn't have a problem with me mailrooming him last week during the fucking show, which is great. Fantastic. So, it just said cool with like 15 exclamation points, and I cannot tell you how happy I felt. I was just like, oh... Because it's validated what I'd done. It validated me. It validated my approach, and it validated that other sponsors won't be bothered by that. That doesn't validate that at all. Not everyone in the world can be as cool as John of www.q-engineer.co.uk, which you should contact for all of your software and missile building needs, as we covered last week. As he's a master of C++ and data capture and adding functionality and other fucking paragraphs that read like stereo instructions that I can't figure out, quite frankly. I have trouble Googling things, so I don't know what the hell he's building. But sure enough, he sponsored the show this week. And again, he sponsored because he prepaid. But I mean, at least he was okay with what happened last week. So John at www.q-engineer.co.uk. Many thanks, John, for your sponsoring. Okay. Also in last week's show, it's so funny. I listened back to it last night, and here's how crazy I am, folks. Listen to me tell the story about being in the booth, and I mentioned that I'm wearing gold and black Zubas. Okay, I mentioned that to you, and you kind of cringed or made fun of them, and I'm trying to make sure they weren't crazy. Like, you can hear me. I actually blanch at you, like, 'cause you kind of like snicker at the pants, and I'm like, no, dude, these are totally cool. I mean, trust me, they were good pants. Like, I wouldn't have worn them if they were crazy. Meanwhile, I'm telling you a story about how a stranger blew me in the dark with I had no boundaries on that whatsoever. I had a girl who pulled me out and sprayed me all over her face like a can of Ready Whip. I'm telling that fucking story, but I am afraid you're going to judge me for the pants I was wearing in 1992. What a fucking nut. The story itself, I'm blissfully unaware of anybody being offended at all by the story that I'm telling you about some stranger who blows me in the dark and steals my wallet. But however, I need you to know these pants were not that crazy. I wouldn't wear ugly pants 18 years ago. Yes, I would. I've got videotape of me in the Batman logo shirt doing stand-up. I got my crazy curly mullet wearing a fringe jacket and a Run DMC sweatshirt doing fucking stand-up. Jesus Christ. I wore crazy shit 18 years ago, folks. You can fucking judge me if you want to. Meanwhile, some strange chick's blowing me, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is a great story. But Jesus Christ, those pants, oh my God. They weren't that crazy, these pants, I swear to God. What an asshat. Oh, man. I will tell you this, all is right with the universe, though, folks. I'll tell you this now. Why? Because I have a good cock picture on my phone. That's right. Yeah, that's right. I texted my wife something, and I got a nice. It was like perfect. I was like excited about it. Saved it. Still on the phone. I don't know why. And I convinced my wife to send me a picture on the text. Last night I'm in Graveyardville, and I get all of a sudden like bring a text message from her, and it's porn tits. It's like tits from the computer. And I wrote her, and I go, that's a start. Now let's see some real ones. And it was so funny. I could actually picture her just like pondering it at the house, just like, oh, because she doesn't. That's not her deal. I mean, she, when I send her one, and she's just like, oh my God, why'd you do that? But then in the middle, sure enough, all of a sudden, it took about 10 minutes, but then, bring, hello. My wife sent me a little naked breast shot, like right there. One of them, just one, which made me laugh. One of them. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. She's got, exactly. You can't exactly fit the 40 double Ds, and you need a bigger lens than the iPhone has. So she sends me one, and I just wrote much better in like all caps. And then when I came home this morning, I said to her, I go, that was awesome that you sent that. And she's like, yeah, I don't. And I go, that the best part is like, that everybody saw that, right? Like it goes through the sky, and all the Sprint people see it. So you're cool with that, right? Or all the AT&T, that has to go through their center, their breast center. And she's like, oh, shut up. And I go, no, that's okay. Nobody saw it but me. All right, but that's a lie. Everybody saw it. Particularly when I forwarded it to my phone book. All right. She made me laugh today because I woke her up. When I wake my wife up, I wake her up. I try to be nice about it. So I'll go into bed and I'll rub her back or her shoulders until she wakes up. Because when I was a kid, I didn't get that treatment. Which thankfully, because it was my brother's, I wouldn't want that. You know how my brother Lenny used to wake me up in the morning? You decide which is worse, folks. Which of these is a worse way to wake up? All right. And it's funny. I hate waking up. I hate the sound of alarm clocks. They sound like stabbing to me. I can't stand it. It's the worst. I get a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach when I hear that shrill brrr, like a bell. Oh fuck, I hate it. Oh my God, there's no worse sound. It's funny. In It's a Wonderful Life, Jimmy Stewart is like, oh, train whistles and all aboard. Those are the best noises in the world. You know what the worst noise in the fucking world? Alarm clocks. Jesus, I hate it. All right, but when I was a kid, here's the two ways I would be woke up. It would either be my mom, and I told you my mom would never venture into the basement where we lived. We were subhumans. We lived downstairs, and my mom would pound. She would stomp on the floor. She would stomp like, and it was a townhouse, so the pipes shook, and it was this huge booming fucking noise. Oh, it was so. And she would open the door, and she'd be like, fucking get out of bed. Like that's what my mom would say. And she would stomp on the floor, this huge echoing. The whole house would shake. Oh, Christ, it was this. I hated it. That was bad. I think. I think my brother's was worse, quite frankly. My brother would wake me up and I wouldn't get up. My brother would wake me up and I wouldn't get up. And then my brother, my older brother Lenny, would punch me in the calves until I got out of bed. He would just wail. It's funny in the fucking Dave Chappelle Rick James sketch where Eddie Murphy and Charlie Murphy just wail on fucking Rick James's legs and he has to crawl out of the apartment. I laughed. I could not. Literally, I had tears because the whole sketch. Top 5 funniest things in the world: the Rick James and Prince sketches on Dave Chappelle. They are absolutely wheelhouse funny for me. They are the two of the, I'm going to group them. They are one of together. Those two sketches are the funniest things in the world. If people were to ask me what is funny, I would show them those sketches because they are so fucking great. So, and when they talked about how they had to wail on Rick James's legs, and this is a show just for you now, I'm talking to you. When they had to wail on Rick James's legs, I totally related to it because I cried. Because it was funny anyway, but I kept laughing because it brought back that flood of memories of how much I hated. Literally, I'm not kidding. Freshman year, my brother would go, like, time to fucking get up. And he would just start punching me in the fucking calves, like Charlie horsing me until I would get out of bed. And he would just wail on my legs until I fucking got up. Dude, And you wonder why we don't talk. Well, there's plenty of other reasons, but I regardless. How did I spiral off into that? Oh, so I was waking Karen up. So I wake Karen up really nice. I try to be, gentle and, rub her back. And because I don't like any harsh, you don't just turn a light on or dump water on somebody. Oh, that's happened to me too. When somebody dumps water in your face, Jesus Christ, kill yourself. But I try to be nice to wake my wife because, again, she's going to work. I mean, nobody wants to be woken up to the harsh reality of whatever. And I hated being woken up. Anyway, waked up. I don't even know how it is. So yeah, and stitch this together. We just had to stop because I yawned in the middle of it. I had to cut it out, and there's no point in cutting them out. I should just leave them in. But I feel self-conscious not telling you about it. That's stupid. So anyway, I wake Karen up, and Karen, she'll talk in her sleep a little bit. So I woke her up today, and I was caressing her face. That's what I was doing. I was like laying there, and just how you do that. You just caress somebody. Oh, yeah, whatever. We all do it. I'm no special person. So I'm rubbing her hair and caressing her face, and then she reaches up in her sleep. And just that weird, remember in Weird Science when Anthony Michael Hall's drunk and he reaches up and just grabs that guy's lip? All right, that's what my wife does. She reaches up with her hand and just kind of like smacks my face. And she starts kind of caressing my face. And I'm caressing her face. And she goes, "You could never be gay." And I was like, "What? Why?" And she said, you have a small chin." And I said, "Well, what does that have to do with being gay?" She goes, "You couldn't support the balls." And I said, you don't need your chin to support the ball. I mean, like, and who are you? Look, you're with me. I mean, I don't have balls like cinder blocks. I mean, it's not like you need a load-bearing jaw to hold on to the balls while you're going to work. They're hanging there. That's their function. That's what they do. And I'm trying to reason with her. She's half asleep. She doesn't even know what the fuck she said. Because then she got home from work, and I said to her, because this happened yesterday, and she gets up, and I go, "Do you remember telling me that I could never be gay because my chin is too small to support balls?" She's like, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Yeah, in the middle, you were half asleep, and you told me that I could never be gay because I had a small chin and it couldn't support the balls." Now you got something to talk about in your podcast. Which, by the way, this week has been sponsored by John of www.q-engineer.co.uk. Many thanks. I don't even want to say the www part. I hate it. You don't need it, but at the same time, I feel I have to say it because John wanted me to say it. He threw it in there for some reason. Maybe there's a different qengineer.co.uk. Maybe there's somebody else. I love the fact that he sponsored me and he paid for it, his business. I can't wait till he sits with his accountant and does his books next year. And the guy's like, "What is this amount that you sent to America to the 40-year-old boy?" "Oh, yeah, I paid a jackass that amount to make fun of me for an hour." "I see, very well. Let's make a note of it here. Pip, pip." Now, it says here that you did the same thing a week later. Now, that doesn't seem to make good business fiscal sense, does it? That you would pay a jackass to make fun of you 2 weeks in a row for an hour? Pish posh. Ban the Blitzkrieg and all that, whatever they say over there. Bangers and mash, I don't fucking know. They're England. Ever England. What is that they say? Forever England? I don't know. But folks, I'm bringing people together, if nothing else. I have fans in England and I have fans in Ireland. Although I may have fewer fans in Ireland now after what happened. I wrote a column, a friend of mine, not my friend, I mean a listener to the show, a young man by the name of, and I think I'm pronouncing this correctly, Sean McTiernan, I think. I think that's how you pronounce his name, I'm not sure. But I'll say his name because he's on Facebook, and people know it, they'll see his name, as opposed to John, who, keep it on the qt-engineering.co.uk. No, there's no T in there, please. Hey, Sean! Sean McTiernan. Sean McTiernan. I think it's how you say it. I don't know. I'm not sure. He is a kid in Ireland who wrote me and said, "Hey, dude, I have a newspaper called the Dublin City Review, and I put it together. I put together the art section, and I write a column there. He writes a column called Obsessed and Destroyed. Christ, I'm gonna I forget it. I apologize, Sean. But he said he was moving on from this paper, and he asked if I would write a guest column for his paper. And I, of course, said, well, that's work. I can't do that. No, I said, sure, I'll do it. And he told me how many words he needed and all this kind of stuff. So, wow, okay. I'm sorry, Lily's showing me stuff. Her breasts. She just pulled them out, and that's why I said, and you know what's funny? Imagine it was her breast, and listen to my reaction. Oh, yeah, stupid. Isolated and Destroyed. That's the name of it. Isolated and Destroyed is the name of his column. So, but this week it's called Isolated and 40-Year-Old Boyd. He went ahead and changed the name. And so I wrote the column, and it's kind of, it makes fun of Ireland a little. I just did it to be a dick. Like, I thought it would be funny, and but it's also funny. I mean, I think the column is funny. You go check it out. So, it's at thecollegeview.com, or if you Googled Isolated and Destroyed or Isolated and 4-Year-Old Boyd, or you know what, I did put a tiny link on my Facebook, and I hear from people all the time when on the show. I'll say, I'll put it on my Facebook or I'll Twitter it, and people write me and go, dude, I don't do any of that stuff. So, if you want to, you can go to tiny.w52g3. So that's tiny.cc/w52g3. I hope that's a 5 and not an S. I don't write very well. So, and go read the article. Go read the column. Because, I mean, hey, look, we all love me verbally. Let's see if your eyes like me as much as your ears do. Your eyes have not weighed in on Mike Schmidt yet. Your ears, every week, your ears are like, dude, thumbs up, we like this guy. But your eyes are like, fuck, I don't know what the ears are talking about. Go show your eyes what your ears have been talking about all this time. And go read the column. And go read what it was like when I had discipline and actually created something. Instead of just talk at the speed of my head. That's the name of the show. Talking at the speed of my head, maybe. So I'm still trying to find names for the one-man show. I know one that it's not going to be, but I will try to figure out what it's going to be. So yeah, when I had a discipline and actually, and I will tell you this, Sean McTiernan, good kid. I sent him his column, and he's all excited. He's like, oh man, thanks so much for doing this. And he had told me that he wanted like 820 words, I think it was, or 822 words. And I wrote him, and I was like, hey, this is about 830. But, if you need it edited, let me know. And he's like, no, it's cool, awesome. And then I read it, and he edited it.
Aww.
Yeah. And I don't like that. He didn't edit it. All right, whoever edited it. All they took out, literally, this is, all right, so look, go read the column, okay? And because it starts out where I'm talking about Ireland a little bit, and then it goes on, and then I take on myself, and I talk about me a lot at the end of the article. And the last line of the article was, and this is all they took out. And I was going to write Sean and go, dude, he listens to the show, so he should know that I'm fucking crazy. So he's got to know that he's going to hear about this at fucking some point. But they cut out the last line of the article, literally the final line of the article, which was, now if you need me, I'll be off rereading this and jerking off to my own brilliance. That was the last line of the article. Yeah. If you need me, I'll be rereading this column and jerking off to my own brilliance. And that's cut out. And I was disappointed and angered, and then shock, and then there was bargaining, and then finally acceptance. That's the 5 stages of being edited by a college kid in Ireland. Again, a nice guy, and he's got a podcast, by the way, called Ah Here, AHHERE, Ah Here. I don't know if that's an Irish phrase or Irish deal. And he even wrote in this thing, he's like, I just, if you want to mention the column and if you want to mention my podcast, that'd be great, but don't feel that you have to, I'm like, well, I don't mind saying it, except for, I got to be honest with you, I almost didn't because he edited the fucking column. Like, I was so pissed because I'm a child, folks. You can't cut out my brilliance. Why would you fucking tamper with my brilliance? And that's why I even put in the email, if you need this edited, let me know, because I'll pick some other extraneous sentence that I can fucking take out of here, or I'll take 5 ands and a the out, and then I'll be able to fit in the sentence that I wanted to fit in. But instead, I turned it loose to the fucking, potato patrol, and they fucking cut out the final sentence. God damn it. All right. And I even wrote that in the column. I made fun of Ireland, and then I go, look, I'm half Irish, so I can get away with this. And then, but that's not true at all. But you know who's getting? Well, no, it is true that I'm half Irish, but it's not true that I'm. God, there was a shirt on the internet called "Fight Me, I'm Irish." I wanted to get that shirt. Fight me, I'm Irish. But except I was just talking to Lily. I don't fight anymore, man. I don't. I gave it up. I fucking passed it on. She's like, when was the last time you were in a fight, like an actual punch fight? And I go, it's been a while, man. I mean, not counting walls and shit. I mean, I've knocked the shit out of some walls. And I've gotten close. I've talked every time I've been in a dust up. I've talked about it here on the goddamn show. You know who's loving this whole Chuck? John over at www.q-engineer.co.uk. He is loving it, folks. By the way, if you want to sponsor this show, contact me. You can get the same treatment that young John just got and has been getting. Because listen, how many times I say the business name, folks? If anything, because people, you know what? I'll be honest with you. People filter out all the nonsense. They don't listen to any of that. All they take away is your business name, and they go, "Fuck, I got to patronize that guy. I need to go to that business immediately." Or they want to go read a column in an Irish newspaper. God, folks, I'm bad. I'm nationwide. I'm fucking international. That's who I am. I'm taking this fucking place over, one college newspaper and software company at a time. There's a guy in Pakistan who wrote me like a 9-page note telling me I needed to start doing more stand-up. Thanks, buddy. It was nice of him. He wrote me, he's written me a few times, this guy, Sammy. He's got a podcast, too. What's the name of it? Diary of a Suicide Bomber. I'm plugging everybody. Fuck. Nobody's paying me. Only John at www.q-engineer.co.uk. Only he ponied up the cash. But yet here I am plugging everybody, for Christ's sake. But I'm trying to convey to you the fact that I have fans all over the nation, folks. Not just the nation. And when I say all over the nation, I mean all over your nation, wherever you are. Canada, England, here. When I first put out year one, and talked about this on the show, I sold more in Canada and England initially than I did in America. You know why? Because Americans are fucking cheap. What's wrong with you people? Don't you want to pay for something that you got for free for a year? My business model is horrible. I might as well pay a maniac to endorse me on the fucking internet. Then my account can ask me, I'd say, what did you do? I paid a jackass to make fun of me for 52 weeks. Christ. All right, I'll tell you why my elbow hurts.
Can't wait.
I said it to Lily. It was so funny. I'll mention something to Lily, and I'm telling this because Karen's like, you got to say this on the show, and I'm like, all right. So this happened the other day. I get home, and it's 6 a.m. All right, because it's the end of a long day in Graveyardville. I've kept everybody safe, and I head home. So when I pull up on my block, I notice in the middle of the street there's something dead. Okay, and it's in the center lane. There's like there's a lane I'm in, and then it's a 2-lane road, but with a big center lane, so you can make turns into the adjoining apartment complexes. So right outside of my apartment complex, there's a dead thing. I can't see what it is, but I park my car, and again, 6 a.m, no traffic. So I grab my laptop, and I grab my bag, and I grab my stuff out of my car. I go to walk in the house, but I have to. Because I'm 5, I have to walk over and look at the dead thing. Because I don't, because that's, those are interesting. So I walk over, and again, no traffic. So I go over, and it's in the middle of the road. I get over there, and I can tell you that it is or was a possum. Now, I don't think it's the possum I had a history with. Although there is the possibility he was casing my house, again, in my absence. And the 21st century caught up with him, and he met some bus tires. But I will tell you that this used to be a possum. He has shuffled off this mortal coil and ascended to possum heaven, where it's nothing but barefoot hillbillies and moonshine jugs with 3 X's on them. On the porch, but none of their guns are loaded, and the possum can dig all he wants. So I look at this possum, and he's dead, and he's fresh dead. He's not he's not stiff dead. It's recent, fairly recent, because there's blood on the street, blood on the road. So I'm looking at him, and it's look, come on, it's kind of fascinating, right? We all watch like Discovery Channel, and people have 80-pound goiters and all that kind of bullshit. Well, now I'm face to face with nature. I mean, this is I don't want to say the food chain because that sounds awful. Although I will tell you this. Oh my God, did he smell? Oh my Christ. I didn't mention this when I talked about the possum fight before. That's in year 2, folks. There was a possum who came in and he tried to attack me. He tried to get to me, but luckily I was able to get to the door and lock him out. But he stunk. If you think a possum stinks, how bad do you think fresh dead possum stinks? He smelled like fucking. He smelled like a corn tortilla filled with dirty assholes. I mean, it was just the fucking grossest smell because it had like this gut smell and it smelled like shiest kind of, and it was like shit. And oh my God, he smelled like a Pony Express saddle must have smelled. You know, when the riders would ride from like Kansas City to Cincinnati with a letter. And then at the end of it, their horse and their saddle and their ass. It was something trapped between man, ass, and horse for 1,000 miles. That's what he smelled like because he had that animal smell. But then he was kind of burst open. So he looked, it was like, and he was kind of like a tauntaun in Star Wars. I was going to put my hands in to keep him warm, but I didn't. He's burst open. He just looked grim. So, but the thing is, he was still kind of like just laying there. So I wanted to kind of move him, but I didn't want to touch him, right? Because he's dead. And I don't like germs, so I didn't have anything on me. So what I figured, I go, you know what? Go back to your car. You got to have something there to get. So I went back to my car, and I didn't have anything there because I had a baseball bat. I keep a baseball bat in my car and other things, but I didn't want to use anything that I was going to keep. So instead, I got a Propel bottle because it was empty, and I figured I could poke him with that. You know what I mean? And move him around. Because I wanted to flip him over and like look at what I was fed because you don't see a lot of death. I don't get to see a lot of death. I told you I don't. Come on, at a wake. Let's put it this way: I'd go to more wakes if it looked like this possum. Like if the body was in its natural state and just fucking destroyed, I would check it out because it's interesting. I think that's interesting. And I don't know. Honestly, I can't explain why. Because again, I'm a child. Because it was just weird to see a dead possum. So I go get my Propel bottle and I walk over back to the now. And I should say now it's like 6:15 or 10, whatever. Not 15 minutes went by. Whatever. It's early. It's still early in the morning, but there's going to be morning traffic eventually. So cars are driving by, and then I have to wait. Then I cross to the center lane, and I take the Propel bottle, and he's got his like long tail that's like kind of curled underneath him, and then he's there, and it was really creepy because his jaw was out from being hit, like his upper jaw his teeth were out, like, and he was missing teeth, like, and they were on the ground. And he just did a number on him. So I kind of took the Propel bottle and I poked him, like I just poked him. To see what he, I know he's not going to do anything. What's he going to do? Run away? I mean, that would be fucking crazy. Believe me, he was in bad shape. I wouldn't have even gone near him if I thought there was any possibility of him running away. So as I'm crouched down, and I got, like I said, I got all my stuff with me. It's stupid. I don't know why I did it, but I did. So I crouched down, and because part of me thinks subconsciously I do these things so I have something to fucking, but I mean, I really was genuinely curious. So I crouched down and I kind of poke him with the Propel bottle. And I hear a really loud like truck, like a Hemi, like that noise, like really loud. So I'm doing it, and I hear it coming, and I don't look. I'm looking at the possum. I'm looking at his teeth, and his eyes were still in his head. They didn't pop out. And I'm looking, and the car. I noticed, like in my head, I'm just not registering. I'm hearing traffic noises, but I hear this loud truck, and it's not passing me. It's just, it's loud. And again, it's like 6 a.m. I mean, there's no noise at all. All of a sudden, there's like a loud truck, whatever the fuck. So I'm looking at the possum and doing this. And all of a sudden, huge horn. The horn blares. Like the Hemi noise with a huge horn. And all right, look. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm looking at a dead thing already. So I'm kind of scared as it is.
Oh, no.
So the horn goes, and I jump. Like I fucking scared jump. And when I jump, I'm like, and because I'm crouched down, and I kind of like jump in the air, but not like, it doesn't look like an acrobat, but I'm like, And as I flinch, I kind of like land. I actually jump off my feet, like, whoa, dude. And when I land, I step on the tail, the possum tail. And I slip. And not on him. I fall backwards and I land on my elbow and my stuff. Because over my right shoulder is where my laptop and my bag is. And so I fall on that side and I wham. And as I fall, I look up. There's a big fucking like a Dodge truck. Like he's just sitting there. And I'm not in his way. I'm in the center lane, and he's in the fucking right lane. Like, there's no reason for him to honk at me or anything. I don't know what the fuck. So he pulls up, and he rolls his window down, like, I hear the noise, and I'm on the ground, and I look up, and I go, why are you honking your horn? He goes, what are you doing? It's a guy. It's a man, and he's an older silver-haired guy, and he's got a mustache, and he's got a work shirt on. I don't know. I mean, he's going to work, a foreman. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. All I know is he honks. He's got the loudest Hemi truck in the world, and he fucking honks, scared the shit out of me. I slip in a possum tail and fall on the fucking ground and hit my elbow. So I look up at him, and he goes, what are you doing? I said, what do you mean, what am I doing? He goes, what do you got here?
Are you kidding me?
No, I swear to God. He goes, what do you got here? I go, I don't know, it's a dead possum. And he goes, what are you doing to it? And I go, nothing. I'm just checking out the dead possum. Like, I mean, I don't know what else to say, and that's, unfortunately, I realized later how stupid it sounds, but I go, I'm just checking out a dead possum. And I stand up, and I get, my fucking elbow hurts, and I put my bag still on my thing, and he goes, you need to get that out of the road. So he goes, what are you doing? I go, checking out the dead possum. He goes, you need to get that out of the road. I go, it wasn't my possum. And he goes, oh, you're just a smart guy, aren't you? I go, hey, I'm not the one honking in the middle of the fucking morning. What do you care about the goddamn possum? Because now I'm mad, all right? And it's funny you asked me about getting mad. So no, I started to get all swelled up. I got my fucking, I'm ready to go now. I'm like, I'm going to hit this guy with this dead motherfucking possum, It's just insane. And he goes, well, you don't have to get, mad about it. I'm just telling you, it's for safety, you should get out of the... I go, it's in the middle fucking lane. It's not even in traffic. And he just goes, whoa, and he rolls his window up and he drives off. So now I'm standing there and I'm like, I got the Propel bottle and I'm all fucking, I dropped on my fucking elbow. So I go, fuck this. So I look at the possum and I almost want to salute him, like, vaya con Dios, possum. So I walk back to my house and I'm walking up the street and I go across and I got the Propel bottle and I'm like, well, I got to throw this away. And I go, oh, well, I can't bring it in the house because now it smells like corn tortilla with dirty assholes. So I need to go around the back to the dumpster. So I start to walk down the block and I hear, and I'm like, all right, what the fuck? So I keep walking and it's the guy in the truck. He went down the block and turned around. He comes back. He's in the center lane and he honks again. And I look back at him and he goes, how do you like this, asshole? And he runs over the possum.
Oh my God!
In the middle of the road. Runs it over. Dead possum. Takes out all of his anger and aggression on me. Thinking again, I mean, I don't know what. And so he goes, he runs over the possum. And I go, it wasn't my possum. He's not hurting me. So I don't know if you misunderstood that the first time, but I'm just making sure. Dude, this was not a house pet that got fucking killed. So I yelled at him, that wasn't my possum. And I'm looking, and I've just got the Propel bottle. I'm near my, I'm halfway between the dumpster and my front door. And I look across the street at the apartment building, and there's balconies. They all have balconies. And I forget, there's a guy. Every day I see him. Every day I see him when I come home. He's out there reading the paper, smoking, every morning on his balcony, to the point where I've actually made eye contact with him and waved at him. And I wasn't my possum. I look up, and he's on the balcony. And it was kind of cold, so he's got like a parka on and a hat. He's an old man. And he just goes, salutes me. I can't do it justice if you don't see it. It wasn't like a salute. It was just like if you managed to put your hand up to your head and went, yeah. Like he just saw the whole thing and he was just like, good luck to you. So he was probably watching me poke the possum with the Propel bottle. He watched the whole thing. This guy watched the whole thing unfold. And he's been coming out every morning on his balcony to read his paper, looking for anything to look at. And now he finally got a show. In like 80 years, he's been probably coming out to that fucking balcony. And finally, he sees me fall on my ass, and the guy honks at me. I get him into a fucking argument with him, and then I'm going to fight him. And then who turns around? What psychopath turns around and goes, how do you like this, asshole? And drives over the fucking possum. Like, does a burnout on him and leaves him dead in the middle. Oh, dude, you're not hurting me. Wasn't my possum. So the guy gives me the salute, and I'm like, I just kind of wave at him. And I go to walk and throw away the Propel bottle. And then I feel bad. Again, I feel bad for inanimate objects, folks. We know this. So there's a recycle bin at my house. So I'm going to put it in the recycle bin, and then I'm like, oh, you can't do that, dude. It's like horrible. But then I'm going to put it in the dumpster, but it doesn't matter because people will. I'll often see them in my dumpster, like pulling stuff out. We have this Indian couple that comes by our house all the time, and they're wearing. There's a woman in a sari, and she's older. She's like 65, and who knows? She's Indian. She could be 12. I mean, it's just living the hard life of going through dumpsters and picking out fucking plastic bottles. And she swam over here from Calcutta. I don't know what the fuck she's got going on. So she could be at the pick, 15 years old. I have no idea how old she is, but she looks fucking horrible. And her husband, and he'll have he's got a turban. I was going to say a bandana, but he's got a turban and she's in a sari, and they'll have sticks and they'll be poking the garbage bags looking for stuff. And so, I mean, I'm sure that they got their hands on it, and good for them because it probably smelled like India. They were like. We've seen the filth in some of the streets in Bombay. I'm sure they picked it up, and come on, those people aren't. I saw Slumdog Millionaire. A lot of those people are happy to get a possum poking Propel bottle. They're like, they picked it up and they're like, this reminds me of home. Put it in their little satchel. They probably didn't even recycle that one. They took it home. So I come in and I tell Karen, so that's why my elbow hurts. And then you'll appreciate this. So then I put my stuff down, and then sure enough, I opened my computer. The next, like two nights later, I needed it, broke it. I landed when I fell down, literally right up here. I cracked my laptop by where the internet and the magnet go, right at the crucial point, except for the screen. And I had to fucking try to jimmy rig it, and I was able to fix it. But yeah, I cracked it just like you did. Because Lily dropped her fucking computer. So that's I got that for you. I have a bad elbow, folks, because a fucking crazy old man ran over a possum. He killed it a second time. How bad was that possum's luck? You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can get me at Facebook.com/the40yearoldboy. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40yearoldboy. Follow me there. Friend me at Facebook. You can follow Lily at Twitter.com/LilyVonStupp. And you can follow her at Twitter.com/MNTs. And if you want to send Lily an email, you can send her a personal email at Lily@burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Mike's got new stuff to sell you, stuff he hopes you'll enjoy. Just what's for sale, of course we do not know. All we can tell you is where you should go. Zazzle.com, 40-year-old boy. Zazzle.com, 40-year-old boy. Zazzle.com, 40-year-old boy. Zazzle.com. Is your business you? What kind of stuff's for sale? We already told you we don't know. 'Cause Mike made us record this song way back in February, so we can only speculate just what Mike will try to sell you. Maybe his face on a tambourine, or his own line of gardening equipment. Zazzle.com, 40-year-old boy. Zazzle.com, 40-year-old boy. Zazzle.com, 40-year-old boy. Zazzle.com. Maybe his own line of high chairs. Zazzle.com. His face on your personal massager. Zazzle.com.
It's funny, I had another story to go with that possum story, because that happened, and then it reminded me of something else that happened. But, I mean, if I tell that, it's going to be forever, so I'll tell it another time. So that's what I was looking for, was that reaction. So please, folks, remember, at some point, eventually, you're going to hear another story about animals. And then you're going to go, why didn't he tell that the same day he told the possum one? because I was busy punching a hole in a wall over a fucking pen, and it cost me some time. Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. Hey, Lily.
Hey, Waddy.
Who's going to be there this week?
Joseph the Conjurer is hosting.
Joseph the Conjurer will be hosting and conjuring.
A ton of hot babes.
Ton of hot ladies will be there. Are you dancing, hosting, or dooring?
I'm dooring.
She's dooring. She's
I'm actually dancing.
Oh, she's dancing. Lily might be dancing this
and
week.
No, that's not this Monday. That's not this Monday.
Keep it in your pants, cowboy. Sure.
And I will.
Do that. So the Monday, you can learn all about the Monday Night Teas by going to burlesque411.com and finding out all that. Is there a MondayNightTeas.com?
MondayNightTeas.com?
Go to MondayNightTeas.com and also go to Twitter.com/MNTeas, and you'll find out anything and get offers for flyers and tickets and all that kind of stuff. And our friend Lily today is wearing her new Stripple t-shirt. The Stripple shirt, by the way, I will Twitter it. I will take a picture of Lily wearing it, and I will Twitter that tonight, and probably put it on Facebook as well. And then you folks can see it and go, wow, look at Lily. How cool is that? We need to buy one. You know where you can buy one? Zazzle.com is where you can go to Zazzle.com/40-year-old-boy. I know there's a song at some point in my show that tells you to do that, but I think sometimes people get caught up in hearing the song and going, that sounds awesome. Did that really mean that there's a store? No, they forget there's a store because they realize that's an awesome song. But I can tell you that Zazzle.com/40-year-old-boy, and that's the number 40 as always, is available for you to go and buy T-shirts and bric-a-brac. So go get bric-a-brac. We got plenty of that. We got mugs. And we've got other mugs. We got coffee mugs. We got travel mugs. We got a mouse pad. We got a Stripple shirt. And who knows what could happen in the future, folks. I'm a motherfucking cottage industry, so who knows what we'll come up with. But go ahead and visit Zazzle. Go visit. Now, Snoop Dogg, say big baby. Go visit McZazzle McZizzle. Go to Zazzle.com/40-year-old-boy and check out the stuff we have on sale there. Also want to remind you to go ahead and go to the Westside 86 Jokers page, the Mike Schmidt fan club, and go ahead and join up with them. And I want to thank Adam. He sent me a note because he heard last week when I was talking about the page. And because I am nothing if not antagonistic. All these people have to reach out with me and tell me, oh, what did you think? Adam, I wrote him a note, and I got to talk to him, but he was very nice, and he understood that I'm not, a complete psychopath. So go to the Westside 86 Jokers page and join the Mike Schmidt fan club if you want. Want to remind you again, I will be in San Francisco in August. It looks like the 20th and the 21st. The shows are at 10 o'clock. When tickets are on sale and all that stuff, I will let you know. But it's a small theater. We did it on purpose because I don't want to be embarrassed by playing to 2 people. Again, me and Bucky sitting there as I bore him with why I didn't pick his title. Once that's official and it's everything. But if you go to my Facebook page, you can see that there's a page. You can join the page if you're going to come to the shows. Again, I remind you, a lot of people became fans of that page, which was neat, and not a lot of people, but people did. But we want to make sure if you're becoming a fan of the Mike Schmidt coming to San Francisco, you're also coming to the show because it gives us an idea of who's coming and who's not. Because we went with a small theater because I don't think I'm a draw. I'm not a draw at all, folks. And also want to thank John of www.q-engineer.co.uk. Many thanks, John, for sponsoring the show this week and last. And I appreciate your note of cool with 400 exclamation points. I'm glad that you pretended to enjoy what's going on. And I want to remind you folks also, this isn't even a reminder. This is telling you. This coming Sunday, April 25th, at Meltdown Comics in Hollywood, California, Paul Goebel's podcast is having its 200th episode with plenty of special guests. I think David Koechner's going to be there. I'm not sure exactly who the special guests are, but I know that I'm a guest. I'm not a special guest by any means, but I am certainly a guest on the Paul Goebel 200th episode live extravaganza. Paul Goebel's show is at Meltdown Comics. That's 7522 Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood, California. 8 o'clock Sunday, April 25th. That's Paul Goebel's 200th. Come join Paul Goebel and Jim Bruce along with their cavalcade of special guests. And Lily Von Stupp will be there producing the whole thing if she doesn't freak out and throw something and will storm out as Paul tells her what to do. Because he does, you got to kid glove Lily. I've learned how to do it because what I do is I pull something out of her hand and I throw it across the fucking room like a psycho. So I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, so Paul Goebel's live 200th episode extravaganza. This is 8 o'clock Sunday, April 25th at Meltdown Comics, 7522 Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood. And also remember to go to tiny.cc/W52G3 and read the column I wrote for Sean McTiernan in Ireland. Again, I think it's how you pronounce it. I'm not from there, but I think I want to make sure that I get it correct. And whenever you read it, remember that the final line was, "If you need me, I'll be rereading this and jerking off to my own brilliance." That was because that was the linchpin. I'm not going to lie to you. That was the key to the entire article, and he pulled it out. And so it doesn't have the same oomph. It doesn't pack the same wallop. It doesn't have the same Irish haymaker that it would have otherwise. But now instead it's got that, which is fine. It was funny. Karen redid my shelf this week. I have a shelf. Men will tell you this. Women have a closet. Men have a shelf. I have just a shelf with my shampoo and soap and my jewelry box and all that kind of stuff. Not shelf like your rack, but that kind of shelf. Did you put makeup on for your little picture? You did. You did your eyelashes? Oh, why? You looked great. Lily put false eyelashes. So when you see the Twitter picture, please know that she made herself up. As I was talking to Max about what picture to do. So Karen did my shelf, and she started cleaning out my jewelry box. And this is a jewelry box. This is a box I've had since I was in high school. I got it for Christmas one year, and it's just been with me forever. It's what's got in it? All my ticket stubs, like for a concert, I would just throw them in there, and it's tons. She starts going through it. Like I understand you want to do my shelf, but you got to go through my fucking jewelry box too? I mean, it's crazy. And she found all my old earrings because I used to have a pierced ear. And she goes, I remember this one. I had an axe that hung upside down with a ruby in the blade. And then I had a switchblade knife that actually opened. Like you could click it. And it was like it hung off my ear. I'm an idiot, folks. And then there was a regular diamond earring. But then I looked and my wedding ring wasn't in there. And she's got it. Because I don't wear my wedding ring anymore. I haven't since my surgery because it doesn't fit. Because it's a size 14. Because I had huge, fat fucking hands. Well, now it won't fit. It's funny because I have a clotter ring that my mom got me for Christmas, and that doesn't fit. But weirdly today, I put on my high school graduation ring, which great. I know I didn't graduate, but who cares? I bought a ring anyway. Fits. My high school ring fits perfectly. So it was I almost wore it today just to be a dick. But Karen redid my whole shelf, and she opened up my jewelry. So now it's like open, and she put my watches in it like a man. It looks like a man's jewelry. Instead of being like a child's filled with ticket stubs and a bunch of crap, now it looks like a man's jewelry box. It's open, and all the rings and the watches are all set up in it. And because people bust my balls about not wearing my wedding ring to the point where, because in my old headshots, it was prominent in my black and white headshots because I had my fists like this and you could see my wedding ring. And to a point, a casting director said you shouldn't have your wedding ring in your photo. And I'm like, dude, I weigh 500 pounds. Am I going to not get cast because they think I'm not appealing to the ladies? Give me a fucking break. If anything, people are going to go, that 500-pound bastard is married to somebody? Oh, that poor woman. We got to get him a job to keep him out of the house and try to get him some more money. So he can keep her happy and she doesn't fucking leave. If anything, it was like a plea to people. We got to go ahead and make sure that everybody... I was saying, look, I actually tricked a woman into liking me. Check out this wedding ring. But that's what cracks me up whenever I see anybody's not wearing their wedding ring, and it's big news because Sandra Bullock's not wearing her wedding ring, and they're all freaking out about it. It's like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. They're lucky she didn't have a pay-per-view special where she fucking destroyed it. You know, she should, if anything, because that asshole's like Captain Metal, she should fucking give it to him and go, do me a favor, make me a fucking switchblade out of this so I can stab you with it, you fuck. Unbelievable. And now that chick got a show. They gave that chick who banged him, Michelle fucking, I think, what's her nickname? Fucked Up Childhood? Is that her name? I don't know. She's the human canvas, but she's a Nazi stripper. Really? Is there? There's two words that I never thought I wouldn't be interested in a stripper. Like I never thought you'd say it was a stripper and I'd be like, whoa, yeah, stripper, I'm in. No, she's a Nazi stripper. I'm out. She's got like a swastika tattooed and a spider's mouth on her body, and she denies it, but you can see it if you enhance it. And then she's got WP on her legs. W on her left leg, P on her right leg. And everybody said that stands for white power. Like everybody was saying. And she came out and she's like, no, it doesn't. It stands for wet pussy. Ha ha! I love the fact that wet pussy is your fallback. That's the excuse that gets you out of trouble. It's like, oh, no, WP, that's not white power. That stands for wet pussy. Dude, if wet pussy is your get out of jail free card, you really need to reevaluate the decisions you've made in your fucking life. If that's your excuse, like, no, it's okay. That stands for wet pussy. You think everybody's going to go, oh, that makes sense. That's why it's tattooed on your body. Get fucking bombed. Are you kidding me? That's your go-to excuse, wet pussy. Why, you couldn't think of anything else, like waffle party? Why not waffle party? Everybody likes waffles and we all enjoy gatherings. Why not have a goddamn waffle party? Jesus Christ, that would have been a lot better than wet. That's all she could think of on the fly was what? No, that stands for wet pussy. And she flinched. I guarantee when she's explaining it, she went, "No, white power. Are you kidding me? That stands for wet pussy." Oh, damn it! This is my one chance to get in front of this story, and I actually went with wet pussy. What the hell is wrong with me? Why not walnut pants? You could have gone with walnut pants because then people. Why do I spit out this random bullshit that nobody fucking cares about? I am peddling obscenity. I am going to get a whole fucking army of you people, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to listen to me and then do nothing for an entire fucking week. I can't be trusted. Don't you people know this? It was like the Back to the Future of suck. I don't want to have a boner in somebody else's pants. I need to shoot up heroin and jog. Hey, ass fuck, are you listening to anything that I'm saying to you? Fuck, somebody's got to shut that old guy up. And I'm like, fuck you! I'm not a potato! I'm a goddamn cantaloupe! Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike.